everyone to day one of our all-member meeting. As you came into today's event and began to walk around in this immersive environment that we're providing, but first, let me take a moment and thank you all for joining our meeting today. We have some really exciting news to share about our organization, and we just can't wait to tell you more. So hang on, and we look forward to sharing some really important information here shortly. But before we do, let me take a moment and thank our event sponsor, Genesis, for their gracious sponsorship of this event. We so value the contribution of the Hyundai Motor Group in their participation in the Alliance, and we're very grateful for their sponsorship of this event. You've entered into an immersive tool called XVO, and it's a completely new virtual approach that we're using. And we hope that this 3D immersive experience that this tool allows us to provide is something you'll get used to and enjoy. For you gamers out there, you'll probably feel very comfortable. For those of us who aren't so much into the gaming, it might take us a little bit of time to move around and to get to the right place. But please be patient and work through. There's always help buttons and chats to use to ask people for help and so forth. So hopefully you caught the tutorial on the way in to the event, but if not, we highly recommend you watching it. With only a couple of exceptions on Thursday, this event will not be your typical click and join experience like Zoom or WebEx, but more of a walk around interaction and join experience. So take some time, click on other people walking around, and have brief video chats with them if you like. Take time to walk around the hallways during the breaks. Make sure you stop by some of the booths in the foyer. And we look forward to you enjoying this experience. We have a great roundup of speakers today. And before I introduce our chair and president for the opening talk, let me mention that we're also here from Christoph Ludwig from Geotab, Daniel Krippner from Robert Bosch, and Scott McCormick from the Connected Vehicle Trade Association a little bit later in the program. We will close our day with an immersive networking event, which includes music. So pop your favorite beverage and join others at the end of the event for end of day, end of night reception, depending on where you're at in your day. So now on to our first keynote and speaker. GENIVI has been driving aggressively towards this very session today, during which we will reveal our evolved organization. And I have the privilege of inviting Matt Jones to lead portions of this reveal with me. Many of you know Matt as the elected chair and president of GENIVI, and Matt is also the vice president of global engineering for Wind River. So thanks, Matt, for joining.
Thanks, Steve. So GENIVI is 10, 11 years old now, and I have to give a huge thanks in reality to all of the members that made it possible for the successes that we have today. Who'd have thought in 2009, when Android was really just only coming to the forefront, that we would be sat here in 2021 with all of the challenges of COVID in a virtual environment, talking about the next generation of GENIVI. All of the successes we had, first with Linux-based IVI systems, into the early connectivity, into the multi-OS approach and the Android SIG, right the way through to CVII. And as our customers' expectations have changed, as our members' needs have changed, GENIVI has been proud to keep up, to evolve with the industry. And the board, supported by the Marketing Council and all the staff over the last 18 months, have really been working towards what is next for GENIVI. We've seen many, many member polls, so we're here for our members. And I'm proud to show a short video now, thinking about what is coming next. So with that, let's roll the video. So hopefully that gave you an idea of how our members' challenges have evolved. GENIVI is now officially Covisa. Together, we will continue to evolve for the next decade and beyond to accelerate the future of connected vehicles. So what is Covisa? Covisa is the Connected Vehicles Systems Alliance. Evolving beyond the IVI systems, beyond the base connectivity around the different ECUs, the different electrical architectures in the vehicle, into a world where every vehicle is connected, not just to the cloud, but also to the telco networks, with vehicle-to-vehicle communication, and really setting ourselves up for experiential systems across connected, autonomous, shared electric vehicles, where the most important, evolving beyond just those in-vehicle infotainment, information and entertainment systems of the past. So if we move on to the next slide, we should really think about what is that vision for Covisa. The vision is really for an open, and if we think about what that is, well, it's about us, the members, working together. Ultimately, we are multiplier, connecting a more diverse, still affords us sustainable and integrated mobility ecosystem. But in many ways, the mission is almost more important. And that mission is really enabling all of the members to collaborate efficiently integrating these solutions spanning far more than GENIVI has in the past experience. It's not just about the technology, it's also about the business models, our collective evolving business models that will power this connected mobility revolution. And thirdly, in some ways most importantly, expanding our community's expertise, leading those technical projects, but also focusing on accelerating connected vehicle systems. And if we go forward, what is that value proposition? So the value proposition is really how the members shape the future together. How we can enable all of the Covisa members to get the value out of the organization by giving you a place to challenge the norms, giving you a place to collaborate, contribute if you so wish, and importantly, be more than the collective individuals. About bringing together existing experts, and in some ways more importantly, creating the next generation of experts based on our continued growth in membership. It's about influencing a wider perspective, not just the classical OEMs, tier ones, in-vehicle embedded systems, but it's about expanding beyond that. And some of you will notice that we've now got a host of non-standard members, if I can put it like that. Companies like GitLab, GitHub, and Microsoft as a parent company. We're talking to telco networks. We're talking to the very much is that wider perspective, major public cloud. But providers, and just as GENIVI has always done, Covisa will continue to give a consistent context for this diverse range of projects, with ultimately that aim of this vibrant ecosystem. A vibrant ecosystem where all the buyers, all the sellers can come together to accomplish their business goals, ultimately supporting the many-way adoption of the member-driven results of the Covisa Alliance. And Steve, I should hand over to you for the working model.
Yeah, the working model of the new organization is largely going to be very similar to what we have now in GENIVI, with some slight enhancements. We are excited about members bringing in projects that work on specification development. We have done this historically in GENIVI through expert groups, and we will continue to do that. So Covisa will host and facilitate members-only in Covisa going forward. Expert groups, as well as mixed expert groups that produce specifications to deliver into the marketplace. As with any technology alliance, there needs to be an exploration and education of the organization. The marketing team, which we'll announce a little bit later today, is rebirthing and is going to be very aggressive in bringing together trends and thought leadership and information that educates the members going forward. And so education is going to be a big part of what we do, but also exploration. We have, over the last number of years, used the birds of a feather concept for short-term exploration of topics, as well as special interest groups that maybe are more mid-term, medium-term exploration of trends and technology topics or concepts. So, for example, we've had the Android Automotive Special Interest Group for some time, as well as the in-vehicle payments Special Interest Group. These are both exploratory, but at some point, we believe they will develop into either an expert group or some sort of a project. Which brings me to the third working model, which is projects. And many of you are familiar with GENIVI projects over the years, where we've delivered open source code, open source components. Matt and I will tag team on this. I'll take the left side and he'll take the right side and the bottom. Let me start out by describing the Common Vehicle Interface Initiative, which many of you have already been heard of and are aware of. But here in this project or in this initiative, we're looking deeply into vehicle data standards, vehicle service standards and catalogs, as well as vehicle to cloud connectivity. These are all topics that have been going for quite some time. And then we're also looking at technology stack and tooling. Every interface, every connectivity between vehicle and the cloud requires a whole batch of tooling and supporting software to make it useful and usable by automakers and by suppliers. And so the technology stack and tooling project, which again has been active for some time, is focusing in on that. The Android SIG is also looking into an expanded data set for Android Automotive within a vehicle. For those of you who are involved in projects that are adopting Android Automotive, you know that there is a lot of data that is available in the vehicle that Android Automotive isn't tracking yet today. And how do you marry all that data that you need to have in the cloud with the Android Automotive setup? And so these are all topics that are active in CVII today. Let me also mention the active liaison work that we're doing with W3C. We launched the CVII initiative with W3C almost 2 years ago. And so they've been a great partner. And through that liaison activity, we've been able to collaborate on 2 specifications, ESS and VISS, that are in the market today. Also, the Open Insurance Network, we'll have a call out to them on a workshop later. But that's been a fascinating collaboration of looking at how insurance companies need to use and consume vehicle data, but also how the vehicle needs to be a place where information perhaps could be stored or could be aware of the owner and policy that's on that vehicle or on that owner, the insurance policy. So it's a very fascinating collaboration, which you'll learn more about later in the session tomorrow. And then finally, eSync Alliance, similarly, we'll have a brief readout from them, but they're an organization committed to standardizing the software over-the-air updates, as well as the data pipe exchange between vehicles and the cloud. And so we're active with them as well, and we'll hear again from them later in the session. In progress, we're continuing to work with AutoZar, who's a very important player in the marketplace. We're also tightly engaged with ISO and the extended vehicle work, and also beginning to reach out to Eclipse Foundation, which of course is a strong player around tooling and software vehicles. So all of these organizations we have worked very hard to align, not to recreate work that they're already doing, but to integrate into open dialogues with them that results in more active collaboration and delivery of important assets to the industry. So Matt, back to you on the Android Automotive SIG and so forth.
Thank you. So I think it's important to think about the past GENIVI projects that are still very active. One of those is Android in automotive SIG. Android that we use on a handset or a tablet or anything in between needs extension to work in this future world of automotive. And Covisa will continue that work, continue that Android automotive SIG to enable OEMs and suppliers to explore this integration and extension of Android automotive. And there will always be new features, non-differentiating features that we need to add as an industry that will be maintained and shared with multiple players in that industry. And in many ways, if we think about our in-vehicle, this again are services that are definitely not payments. Think about how many times in a single day we might make payments in various places. But enabling the automotive and payment industries to explore common interfaces to help educate on existing solutions from other industries and bringing those into automotive to enable the future of payments within connected vehicles. Very important. And if we think about these connected, autonomous, shared electric vehicles of the future, is critical. Cybersecurity is not optional. And this is where GENIVI in the past, Covisa in the future, with that merger that we undertook with the Faster Alliance, will really go from strength to strength. And the mission regarding security is really to educate and enable planning for enhanced automotive cybersecurity. So we become more connected and more critical. And let's move on to the next slide, next section. Let's think about how Covisa really can benefit from CVII, Android, payments, all of these various defining and exchanging and leveraging vehicle data. CVII helps us with that. There's multiple proprietary approaches for vehicle interface data. If you think about the alliance, is that we work with actively on the W3C, potentially AutoZone, and many others, that helps get to that next level. The biggest challenges in many ways is there's no single organization focused on in-vehicle edge and that in-cloud solution, vehicle value from their perspective, telco, central cloud, many of these others. How can Covisa, as that next evolution from GENIVI, really be the focal point from that perspective? And let's think about the impacts to the industry that we're looking to drive. We want to be focused on connected vehicle technologies, focused on these common approaches to non-differentiating technologies, basically providing the services in an open platform that will enable others, members, to create their intellectual property, but differentiating features faster than ever before. And with this comes a vibrant ecosystem spanning, in reality, multiple industries for this future connected, autonomous, shared electric vehicle ecosystem. And really, Covisa is here to provide an open door for that cross-industry collaboration, upskilling technically, and importantly, continuing to create that business track, that buyers-sellers network that we discuss so much about. So Steve, I'll hand back to you to talk about the opportunities.
Yeah, so you're sitting there in the audience, you're saying, okay, well, here's an organization, it's got a new face and so forth. But what are the opportunities that your organization and you individually should think about with Covisa? First of all, we're not starting from a blank sheet. Starting at the top there, we have a strong foundation in vehicle data and connected services. We are not just an IVI organization with a new mission. We have over 2 years building specifications and delivering useful technologies in vehicle data and connected services to the marketplace. And so, again, we have a strong foundation. If you're not a member of GENIVI today or Covisa today, how many times am I going to say that today? Of Covisa today, then you should consider recognizing that this is very much an organization that's already active. The other way that we're active, as I mentioned before, is in adjacent industries. Over the years, as GENIVI, we received knocks on our door many, many times from very large organizations in adjacent industries, radio and others, that said, look, we want to develop a relationship with the automotive industry, and we believe that you're the organization to do that through. And so now we have Open Insurance, and now we have other organizations saying, look, we want to engage around this connected vehicle industries who are approaching us more aggressively going forward. And we need an organization like Covisa to serve as as a expert organization in the automotive space. And so expect to see more and more adjacent industries, smart cities, smart infrastructure, IoT, manufacturing, coming into Covisa, the automotive experts already present. Growth and impact potential. Look, as we engage more and more of these industries, we will see this organization grow. And we're excited to see it grow way beyond where GENIVI always was, even at its peak. It's established and operational. You don't have to go back to creating a new bylaws and a new IPR policy. All of this has been exercised for many, many years. It's solid, and you can count on it. And then most importantly, I think there's one of the things that GENIVI did very, very well was establish the ecosystem that's necessary around any technology to make it truly adoptable. And we believe that as Covisa delivers more and more connected vehicle technologies, we're going to continue to build a strong membership base and a buyers and sellers network around those products and services, commercial products and services that are necessary to really gain steam in the industry. So these are all things that you should consider about Covisa as we go forward. So with the GENIVI membership, let me just go ahead and talk a little bit about that. Why would you join GENIVI? First of all, it's a container for collaborative projects. There's two ways for you as an organization to do products and services. One is you can either do it behind the firewall and take responsibility for maintaining it going forward, or you can bring it into a collaborative organization like Covisa, generate interest, get other points of view and diversity of thought, and end up probably with similarly, Covisa is sort of this force multiplier for your contribution. You've heard that phrase before, but it's sort of like you give one and you get some back, sometimes 3, 4, 10 times back from your contribution. And so we believe Covisa is a place where it returns great return on investment. I mentioned before the buyers and sellers network, leveraging members' expertise to create joint platforms. Some organizations are going to be brand new to connected vehicles and brand new to vehicle data and brand new to some of the work that's going on in Covisa. And it's a great opportunity for startup organizations, for example, to come in and understand the technologies from some of the leaders for your organization to provide thought leadership and to influence where the market is going. And it's also a platform for your organization's needs. This is not just about keeping a membership organization their lights on, but it's a way for to meet your organization's needs, whether that means learning and acquiring information, co-developing non-differentiating functionality with others, or contributing code, open source code, requirements, needs, insights, anything that is influential in the future of connected vehicle systems. What does that look like in terms of a membership program? Very similar to what we had in place during GENIVI, but with slight variations. I did some research and looked at about a dozen other organizations and how they presented their membership program, and there's a lot of alignment here with others in the marketplace. And so you see that we have 4 tiers. We're making sort of a bigger deal out of this startup membership because we believe in the connected vehicle space and in the cloud space, there's a lot of startups out there who really need to be part of a bigger community to influence and to grow and to produce, out, if you will, their initial viable products. And so startups are welcome. And then we have 3 membership tiers across there as well. So what's the difference between GENIVI? So today we announced we went from GENIVI to Covisa. What's the difference? Advance that slide. You can't? Okay. Not advancing. Okay. Well, let me just mention what's the difference between GENIVI and Covisa. And from a legal perspective, there's very little difference. Very, very little difference. We have bylaws, we have IPR policies, we have membership agreements, those are the same. There's going to be some slight variations in our scope for our IPR policy and our purpose as an organization. But for the most part, those documents are solid, so there's just not a lot of need to do anything new there. That is going to progressively move over into the COVISA. We have a COVISA wiki today, but it's basically a start from scratch type of a wiki. We'll be moving content over time. And so the simple lesson here is that GENIVI has been a successful organization for over 10 years, and it will continue to grow and evolve. And COVISA we have an opportunity with COVISA to make it even stronger and influence an even bigger part of the industry. So the story here is, let's grow our alliance together. It's not my alliance, it's not Matt's alliance, it's your alliance. We are a very, very member-oriented organization. Your projects matter to us, your needs, your opportunities, whether they're marketing, business, commercial, software, co-developing platforms, whatever they are, standards. Let's do it together. That's what we're about. So let's move forward. So we have the opportunity to hear from some of our members, a couple of our members now. I want to introduce Christoph Ludwig, who is from Geotab, and he will be coming on stage here shortly and giving a brief few-minute statement of support for the new organization. So welcome, Christoph.
Yes, thank you very much for having me here. And first of all, I think it's a great setting and great stage to be on in this virtual environment. It almost feels like a real event. So very well done, and I'm really looking forward to the upcoming days. I'm also looking forward to working closer together with COVISA in the future, and I can only say that we all here on stage, but also in the audience, we are working in a field with a lot of innovations, and we all know that innovation sometimes means that you have to leave behind what you have created in the past, and in order to really go forward and create something new, which is the core of innovation. So I'm really happy to see that GENIVI now transforms to COVISA with a new positioning, with a stronger focus on the changed environment we work in. And I can only congratulate COVISA on this step. And on behalf of Geotab, I can really bring my best wishes, all the best for the future, and we are very, very happy to continue to working with COVISA as we have done with GENIVI in the past. We believe it's the right step at the right time to do so, and so congratulations on this move, and best of all for the future. And you can be assured that we will continue our support as we did in the past. So thanks.
Thank you, Christoph. Very much appreciate that. Now I'd like to also bring to the floor Viseo Munakata, and from Renesas, Senior Director of Automotive Digital Products Marketing Division from the Automotive Solution Business Unit. So welcome, Munakata-san.
Thank you very much for the introduction. So my name is Munakata from the Renesas. So the Renesas has been the very long time the partnership for the GENIVI from the very early days. So our primary focus is, of course, providing the reference hardware and also the software, the GDB stuff, so that people can start with our chips. And from the beginning, so our focus used to be also for the more IVA oriented. But looking to the industry, the many people thinking about how they can connect the vehicle to cloud, vehicle to some other many different devices. So I'm very happy to be this very important event to newly restart a new name with a new name to aiming for the connect the vehicle stuff. And I think the most important thing is the cross industry, the vendor neutral collaboration, not only for the automotive industry, but also for the many service company, the telco company. Many people need to work together to make a very good common ground. So Renesas also try to support this kind of new direction with the new chips, and also provide a new support for this organization. So I'm very happy to be here, and I hope that we can contribute in the future of the COVISA organization. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Munakata-san. I appreciate it greatly. And there are other organizations that have provided that you'll hear from later on. BMW and Bosch also have given us very high supportive statements, as well as Hyundai Motor Group. And we are very grateful for their support going forward. This organization is got a strong membership base already, and we're excited to grow that membership base going forward. So I'm going to hand it back to Matt here on the what's new and what's next type of message. So Matt, I want to go ahead and take it over.
Thank you, Steve. So really, we're just getting started. COVISA launched today. There's a new website that you can go to now, covisa.global. There will be the COVISA branded wiki, at.projects.covisa.global. And importantly, all of that wiki information that we've had from GENIVI, all the web content that we've created over the last 11, 12 years, will be preloaded onto that wiki. There'll be a press release going out, and as you'd imagine, social media, especially on Twitter, LinkedIn, and the like. But really, this is the opening of the all-member meeting. Today, tomorrow, and Thursday, I'm sorry. And we call it the GENIVI all-member meeting, which is too complicated, but really it's the first COVISA all-member meeting. Full experience, and really encourage you to rope in the rest of your teams. It's not too late for them to register. There's no limit, there's no number of chairs to fill this time. The more the merrier. And in some ways, the most important piece is coming. I really, truly hope this is the last digital all-members meeting we have. 25th to 28th of April 2022, Leipzig, Germany, we'll be back in person. That's really important. Very much encourage you to attend in person and encourage your teams as well. And just as ever, that will have technical tracks, that will have business tracks, that will have the demo events, the socialization events that I think we will deserve after 2 years of COVID. And it's not just what we're doing now. If you think of the other upcoming events we have, we will be having a network event, digital and in person, week of the 15th of November in Automotive Tech Week. For those of you in North America, or those of you that can travel, that will be in the Suburban Collection Showcase in the Detroit area. Not too long, 4 weeks away. The next big event, which again will be in person, networking reception and demonstration showcase at the Bellagio in Las Vegas for CES 2022. 5th of January, 6 to 9 p.m. at the Bellagio Hotel. That is an important engaging factor. In the past, we've had 1,900 registries. We're not expecting that many to travel to CES. I'm very much hoping that we get a very good turnout. The anecdotal from that event, the people a socially distanced event that we'll be holding in Vegas. So those of you that are interested in sponsoring or taking part, you remember that person we used to have, Jin.
And if you click on that and you go into main stage, there should be a ability to, submit a chat. For some reason I'm not getting in, but no, there we go. Yeah. So you should be able to get into that via the participants main stage, and then that'll bring up a chat window and you can chat your questions into that, and I will moderate the Q&A period here shortly. And so while we're waiting for those to come in, let me just start with a quick round or one question to ask to Christoph and Munakata-san and Matt. As board members of COVISA now, and as you look forward to the future of the organization, what is a message that you would like to give to OEMs, automakers, and tier one suppliers about the future of COVISA? Do you have any thoughts that you'd like to give to those types of organizations who may be listening today?
Yeah, I'm happy to start if I may, and I'd like to say that the mission of Covisa is more important than ever before. More and more data is available. The vehicles manufactured by the automakers are connected to the clouds ever more. So basically, in future, no vehicle will not be connected. There's a huge amount of data available, and the data per se doesn't have a value. But working with the data and creating information out of data, that's the value we have. And that's where we are all active and where we want to contribute and really try to help our customers to get the most out of data. But in order to do that, it's important to really be able to focus on value creation and not focus on integration of APIs, of different data sets, of different types of data. So that's what I see a very important contribution of Covisa in the future to really help the automotive industry to create a foundation, create a base layer of data made available to third parties that can help to really create value out of data.
Thank you, Christoph. Others? Matt or Munakata have a comment on that?
Yes, I have been seeing the many organizations start facing the same goals, and I think because GENIVI used to have maintained some VISS, it's the collaboration with the WCC, the industry neutral, the organization defined such kind of API. So I think the important thing is vehicle is just random node connected to the cloud. So we need to collaborate with the existing many different variants. So that must be some vendor neutral and the industry cross industry collaboration is my key. So I think the Covesa is a very good place to discuss because we are coming from the automotive industry. So automotive has some uniqueness, that's the safety requirement and the very long lifetime or something. So this is not the same as existing smartphone styles. So we need to add such kind of capability onto the existing stuff and need to work with them to make things better. And data is also for the users. So because many people think that just chasing data to make money, but it must be contribute to the each drivers and families happiness. So I think that we need to work together to make such kind of thing happen. So I believe that this is a very good place to talk this kind of dreams and ideas and make this a specification and make it real. So that's my hope to this organization.
And I would build on what Monokata-san said, that it's a place, Covisa will be the place to discuss not only the deep technological bits, but to give everybody within membership that platform for thought leadership, that platform for understanding, and really help unique requirements that Monokata-san has described, communicate those automotive industries outward to all of these other industries that have to be a part of this future connected vehicle ecosystem that the Covisa Alliance. And that's one of the comfort technology you say to the business, and it's giving all of our member organizations, every single contributing individual within those members, others, especially people outside automotive, who we are in reality already rely on today. And I see that as a huge benefit, bringing together all of these different industries,
So we do have a question in the chat window, and again, if you don't know how to get to the chat window, it's the on your left-hand side. There's a three-person icon that says participants, and you click on that, and you go into main stage, and there's a little chat button next to that. So that's how you get to it. So the question that came up was about existing agreements signed with GENIVI. Will they be inherited in Covisa? And the simple answer is yes. The legal framework, especially the participation agreements that are already in place with GENIVI, will be inherited completely and taken under the Covisa legal framework as well. And so that is all taken care of. If your organization wishes for your own records to sign a new participation agreement, we will have those agreements up on the Covisa.global website. either later today or very, very soon, and you can download and look at those and send those in. But for the most part, everybody's existing membership agreement will be carried on into the GENIVI organization. So that will all remain the same. I had another quick question, actually an announcement and then a question from the marketing team. Some of those who have been around GENIVI for a long time remember the early days when we had a marketing council, and then later on it became a marketing team, and that organization was a member-driven activity that developed communications and materials that helped the alliance as well as alliance members gain greater visibility and have greater outreach and have a greater presence in the communications and marketing of the of the alliance. And we are going to, as part of this transition to COVISA, we are going to relaunch or reincorporate that very, very important part of the alliance called the marketing team. Matt, do you have maybe a quick comment about the value of that team going forward?
Yeah, and I think the value of that team is multifold. First of all, I'd like to thank Brandy Goolsby, who's been now voted in by the board of directors as that first marketing team lead. She's also the treasurer of the COVISA Alliance. That team is there to help COVISA spread the message. And how did COVISA do that? Through those social media challenges, working with all the staff, as well as helping create the all members meetings and these different events, working with COVISA Mike, Karen, and many others. But as well as that, it's about bringing in the individual marketing elements of all of the member companies. And in reality, the marketing team is there to assist the understanding of all of the different points of view that the different members have and what they're looking to achieve from COVISA, potentially outside that technical realm. So how can we help companies like Geotab, companies like Renesas, companies like Bosch and BMW get a platform at the various events, at non-COVISA events that we work alongside, the Automotive Tech Week and others, so that every member can really get the value out of the COVISA Alliance. And there's almost a call to action at the end of this kind of statement where that marketing team is open for other members to contribute. It's not a huge time commitment at all. It just means maybe 1-2 meetings a month, a couple of hours at most a month. But in return for those contributions, in return for that advice, it gives you the ability to influence all of these all-member meetings, to solicit more information from your other members, your colleagues in the membership, to really understand what's going on that business track, on those events tracks. So I know if you reach out to me, reach out to Steve, reach out to COVISA Mike, reach out to Brandy directly, we'd love to get you involved in that marketing team. Healthy marketing team will only enable us to build the alliance faster than ever before. Steve, thanks.
Yes, yeah, and I believe that marketing team has a slot in the agenda later today, so just take a look at your agenda and feel free to join that. One last question before we close. What about GENIVI projects, code repositories? Are those going to continue to be separate, or are they going to move into COVISA? For that question, we are working with Gunnar. There's no simple Anderson and other maintainers of the software projects to determine whether it makes sense to keep some of those projects within the GENIVI code repository or whether to move them into COVISA. And the same with projects. I think most projects that we have active today, CVII, Android Automotive SIG, in-vehicle payments, security, etc., all of those will over into COVISA and can be hosted in the COVISA collaboration context. But there may be some that are uniquely IVI and need to stay in a context where IVI continues to matter. It's not like we're walking away from IVI. We have a great number of IVI experts who will continue to be part of COVISA going forward. We'll just work with Gunnar as our technology lead to determine which makes sense based on input from the maintainers of the projects and participants, whether to stay in the GENIVI context or whether to move over into COBISA. So that's a great question, and hopefully that was clear. But with that, we are out of time for this first session. We're going to have a little bit of a break here, and there's going to be a video, I believe, that's going to run. But to prepare for our next session, we need to take a little bit of a break. But we will be coming back and hearing from Christoph Ludwig again on the value of vehicle data and the future around that. And so invite Christoph to come on. And yeah, so thank you all for attending the first session. We're still working out a few kinks with our technology here, as with every platform. So I apologize for any problems with that, and ask for your patience as we clean things up as we go through the day. Thank you again. Please come back at 6 or at the top of the hour, and we'll see you soon.